Hey, happy Friday out there. I'm your host today, Keith Grevenitz, with the Beat Sessions, where we do the listening for you. Before we get started, like and subscribe for me. We appreciate you tuning in. It's a happy Friday indeed, and good thing I'm not very affected by moody music, because today I'm checking out PJ Harvey's latest release, I Inside the Old Year Dying. It's her 10th studio album and her first in 7 years. Did you know PJ stands for Polly Jean? The 53-year-old Brit has been solo since 1995 and is the only artist to snag a Mercury Prize twice, the prestigious annual award for the best British or Irish act. Other winners for this prize, like Portishead, Franz Ferdinand, and Arctic Monkeys, and the nominees are no scrubs either. Names like Radiohead, Blur, Coldplay, Amy Winehouse, Muse, and David Bowie. These are the artists that didn't win. And I think that speaks to the caliber of music that PJ Harvey is making. Harvey does most of her writing on the guitar, but she's a multi instrumentalist that was raised on blues, jazz, and art rock. And by blues, I mean icons like John Lee Hooker, Howlin' Wolf, and Robert Johnson, the godfathers of blues by anyone's definition. Let's talk about I Inside the Old Year Dying. Harvey producing this one alongside Mark Ellis, aka Flood. If you haven't heard of Flood, look him up and check out some of those artists that he's worked with. And also producing here, John Parrish, the multi-instrumentalist that has worked on 7 of Harvey's albums, playing percussion, guitar, keys, you name it. The album opener is called Prayer at the Gate. It's a very slow and melodic track, and as the song progresses, it churns further into melancholy and detachment, hitting this harder as it lands on a minor mode. It sounds beautiful and simultaneously horrifying. The next track is called Autumn Term, and it opens with a non traditional vocal harmony. It's almost dissonant, borderline cacophony, but implemented in such a way that it tickles a little place in my brain. Something new. Imagine that. Such a nice groove here, guitars, drums, and a clean piano sound that I feel is coming from a synth, which is also pretty cool. Everything is very sonically beautiful, playing with a distortion here and a bit of feedback, but so well done. So far, this album is 2 for 2, and with a couple challenging tunes here, non traditional. Next, we have a finger-picking number with what sounds like a deep timpani, keeping a regular heartbeat here. This is called Lonesome Tonight, but Harvey has a little fun with this one and spells lonesome Lwonesome. She does this throughout the album. Harvey makes a lot of biblical references in her lyrics, and in this one, she juxtaposes Elvis and Jesus together, the two kings, together saying, "Love me tender," which I thought was clever songwriting. Track 4, called Seam and I, opens with Harvey in a cappella before a delicate cymbal cues in Harvey's snappy little guitar riff. It's a sing-songy tune with fun lyrics, playing around with some words here. Harvey is an intellectuals musician. The Nether Edge, the next one, has a whirring sound that anchors this one, and Harvey's voice soothes the ears, especially in combination with some pretty but dark sustained piano chords. The sustain is really nice here. The song ends in a peculiar change that has me loving how Harvey keeps me guessing. When I'm talking about music quality, I often touch upon dynamics, and Harvey oozes dynamics. The album's title track combines partially muted acoustic guitar sound and some soundtracking and effects. This one is short, and I would call it a transitionary song. All Souls is the name of track 7. This one makes you lean in, And when I first hear it, I wonder what the plan is. But it stays minimal. A brooding, curious track. Track 8, A Child's Question, July. A marching beat here with a great melody on vocals. This one is in my head today for sure. One thing I've noticed is some repeating themes lyrically, down to how the words are spelled, like with that lonesome, and love me tender. Those lyrics heard again in this track and heard in further tracks. Another track with a title similar to the title track, track 9, is called I Inside the Old I Dying. A guitar finger picking riff paired with another heartbeat drum beat, this one from a bass drum, and it's deep. Another song worth listening to the lyrics, especially if you're a word nerd. Harvey challenges the listener through and through, both lyrically and musically. August opens up with a flourish of piano that's joined by a beat and some of Harvey's vocals again. And I hear some lyrical themes repeated here again. The penultimate track, A Child's Question, August, is a tribal sounding beat with what sounds like a reversed backing track scaling upwards in this chromatic sense. The beat thunders and resonates through the body as you listen. It really did push through. What I've noticed is that Harvey doesn't use a lot of progression changes in these tracks. She keeps it simple, and I think that works. She finds that dynamism elsewhere, in these little details, in the supplementary sounds. A Noiseless Noise is the last track, and it's a misnomer because the song is definitely driven by noise. Again, Harvey makes sounds that should be the opposite of soothing, but she makes them sound and feel good before she quiets everything down to a settled, pleasant aesthetic and fades into nothing. If for no other reason than to listen to something different than you've heard before, I'd give this album a shot. It may be a challenging listen, but I think you're up for it, especially if you've made it through this much of my review. On that note, I'm Keith Grevenitz signing out. You've been in the Beat Sessions, and I hope you have a great day and stay listening with us.